Hello, and welcome to weeks 5, 6, and 7. Between now and the end of the semester, you will be working completely on your researched argument essay, and you'll also have the opportunity to get feedback from me before you hand in your final copy. I want you to focus on revising and editing and proofreading your essay, and I also want you to go back and review your past chapters, the past reading chapters that we've had on composition, and in particular, I would like you to focus on the rhetorical situation, the chapters that deal with argument, and I would also like you to go back and review the blue section, which is the MLA section of your textbook. Finally, I would also like you to go back and review the yellow section, which deals with grammar, sentence structure, and usage. There were a couple of issues that I saw happening in the annotated bibliographies that I want you to all be aware of when you're writing your researched argument essays. One of those issues being using the second person you or the first person collective we, our, and us. Now, you want to be aware, like I said last week, that the second person is not appropriate for academic writing. When you are writing a paper, especially like the research argument essay, you want to stick to the third person. So if you're having trouble identifying the second person or first person collective in your paper, you can use that as a way to use that as a revision strategy in your paper. So go back, press edit in your Word document, and tell Word to find all of the you references, us, we, and our references, so that you can go back and go and change each of those into the third person. In your book, in your readings for this week, they discuss other ways, various ways, revision strategies and techniques that you can use in revising your papers. So after reading this section, one of the main things that I want you to walk away with is that the revision process does not happen in one sitting. Also, that you can break up your paper into different sections to review or to revise your paper throughout the course of a day, for instance. So one of the revision strategies that I use is breaking your paper down paragraph by paragraph and then asking yourself, what is this paragraph supposed to do, or what's the main point of each of these paragraphs? So you could do two paragraphs in about 20 minutes and then walk away from your paper and come back and do paragraphs 3 and 4. Another thing you can do is go back through sentence by sentence and ask yourself, do each of my sentences logically connect? So breaking down paragraph number 1 and then numbering each of your sentences within paragraph number 1 and asking yourself, does the information from sentence number 2 refer back to information that I presented in sentence number 1? Does information in sentence number 3 pick up on from information that I presented in sentence number 2? So these are just a few revision strategies that you can use in the revision process of your paper. One of the things that I want you to keep in mind in the terms of the revision process is that we can revise things globally and we can revise things locally. To revise things globally basically means that you're looking for the larger things. You're looking for content. How did I structure this argument? What sort of sources did I use to back up my argument? And when you think about things locally, you're thinking about things like spelling and grammar and mechanics. So again, you can do multiple revisions for multiple reasons, and the more readers you have and the more revisions that you complete, the better your paper will be. So keep that in mind as you are going through the revision process. Another thing I would like you to keep in mind is that I'm going through the discussion board for for this upcoming week and giving you feedback on your thesis statement. So when you get the opportunity, make sure that you go back and you look at the discussion board and you read the feedback that I've put in regards to your thesis statement. Now, for the due dates, I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page when it comes to the due dates of your final paper. Now, the final paper, the final researched argument is due no later than 8 a.m. on June 19th, 2012. And just like every other paper, you will submit that paper in the Dropbox. Now, I have opened up another section in the Dropbox for rough drafts. Now, for the rough drafts, you can submit the rough draft to me in the Dropbox no later than 8 a.m. June 12th, 2012. So if you submit a rough draft to me, I'll go through your paper, I'll give you some feedback, and so that you can use to write a final draft, which is due June 19th, 2012. Now, because I'm teaching more than one class and because it does take me some time to give you constructive feedback, I cannot accept any drafts after 8 a.m. on June 12th. I can't promise that I'm going to get back to you right away. So if you want to send the rough draft to me to look at so that you can get some feedback, please send that to me between now and 8 a.m. June 12th. Again, I cannot stress the importance of revision in your writing. Again, writing is a process of revision. You want to make sure that you incorporate as many revision strategies that you can, find as many readers as you can. Keep in mind that when you have someone read your essay, that they are not going to correct all of your mistakes. You will learn new things about your ideas, your topic, and your paper, and how you're writing your paper from different readers. So you want to have multiple readers. You want to get as much feedback as possible on your paper so that you can write a well thought out, well synthesized, objective analysis. Speaking of which, one of the things or one of the revision strategies that you can incorporate in your revision process is reading against the grain, and they discuss that in your textbook. So if you have a particular stance on an issue, you can go back through and read it globally and read it as opposed or as an opposition to your argument so that you can make sure that you're not being biased on your subject and you can take an objective approach. So these are only a few strategies that you can use to revise your paper. If you are interested in more strategies outside of the textbook or outside of the Purdue Hour website, please feel free to send me an email or ask questions in the D2L discussion board. I'm getting ready to set up a discussion board for weeks 5, 6, and 7. So if you have any questions about the researched argument essay, the research argument essay or your progress in the class, you can go ahead and post to the discussion board for weeks 5, 6, and 7. Or if you have more of a personal question, you can go ahead and shoot me an email. So once again, between now and the end of the semester, you will focus completely, fully, wholly on your research argument essays. I want you to go back, review the readings from the textbook, in particular, the rhetorical situation, the revision process, the MLA section, and the yellow section of your textbook. And if you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to post to D2L or send me an email. Once again, happy writing, good luck, and I will see you in cyberspace.